Hello, 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 sellers. I'm Kathy, and I love to be selling, even with really costly updates that eBay's rolling out. I love to be selling, and I'm laughing because if I don't laugh, I will cry. It's like, eBay, what are you thinking about? And that's why I keep laughing. I'm like, oh, please. So anyway, and I'm not the only one that's feeling this way. I mean, I don't know anybody that's happy about this new update to promoted listings that eBay's rolling out. People are absolutely furious. And it's not just about the fee increase, because we've suffered fee increases before. In fact, every year it's more expensive to sell, and eBay's not alone, right? It's more expensive to sell on Poshmark. It's more expensive to sell on Amazon. It's more expensive to sell on Walmart. Come on in, and we're going to discuss why this newest fee update, and it's about promoted listings general, is so infuriating. It's so hurtful to sellers. And everybody's upset about it. So what I'm going to do is go into it. I've gone into it before. I'm going to go back into it because I've gotten a bunch of questions. I will answer your questions the best I know how. I have met with team members on eBay. I have listened to explanations. And I will give you my best response, because what I'm here for is you. I'm here to help you strategize so that you continue to get sales, and even better, get stronger sales, right? And minimize the fees. It's like, we know we're selling on a platform, right? Just like if we're on Poshmark or Depop or anywhere we are, we know we're on a platform. We know the platform is giving us a service. I've got no problem paying for the service. I don't want to create my own website. I'm very happy selling on eBay. I would just like better communication, and I would like greater clarity on the fees. I think that's part of a good relationship, right? I do my best to be clear with eBay, and I would appreciate that back. So let's talk about it. It affects promoted listings general. And promoted listings general is pretty much the promoted listings that everybody does, okay? There is advanced. Advanced is pay per click. There is a change to advanced, by the way, and it's on the same announcement I'll show you, which is the top slot in search now is going to be exclusive promoted listings advanced. I don't have a problem with that either. If people want to do the pay per click, they want to be the top slot, go right ahead. Being second, third, or fourth is fine with me. Just for you to know, it's like, as long as you're on that first page, and preferably what they call above the fold, which is the beginning part of the first page, you're in good shape, okay? The way you get there without doing promoted listings advanced is optimized listings. And I've got tons of videos on that. I've got podcasts. And if you're watching me on my Facebook business page, thank you. Kathy Terrill, I love to be selling. If you're catching me on my YouTube channel, Kathy Terrill, I love to be selling, search. I have tons of YouTubes about how to optimize. And same thing with my podcast, Kathy Terrill, I love to be selling. So back to this update. First of all, let me show it to you. It is on the eBay announcement page. And just for you to know, when people are giving you information about eBay policies or eBay updates, you really ask, number one question, where is it on eBay? Because you want to go and look at it and read it for yourself. I always encourage that. You read it, you look at it, okay? Don't just get everything second and third hand. You want it firsthand. You want it from eBay. So on the eBay announcements page, which is in eBay community, which is on ebay.com, which is where we all are selling, we've got this. And let me just show it to you. So this is the announcement from eBay, okay? What is bad about, so this is exclusive ad for priority, which is priority is going to be on top. Okay, eBay. This is what you need to take a look at, which is the updated attribution for general campaigns. And what they're doing, and why everybody's so upset about it, is if someone looks at a listing of yours and it's in a sponsored placement, so you've given eBay money for promoted listings general, and your item shows in what is called a sponsored placement. It has the word sponsored on it. Somebody finds it and they click on it. With this new attribution, which is this new way of charging you fees, I'm translating eBay talk. Once you have that initial click, this is after January 13th of 2026, anybody who finds your item in any way for the next 30 days, you are charged a promoted listings fee. This is even if they find it, you've shared it on social media. This is even if they found it, they're just searching eBay and it's in what's called organic search, which is it's not in a promoted placement. You are charged a promoted listing fee. And this is my attitude about that, okay, is if eBay wants to charge me a fee, they should be honest about it, which is put a fee on the store, make the stores a little more expensive, increase the final value fee a little more, do something. But to call it a promoted listings fee, it's not. You're promoting it once. You're putting it in a sponsored placement once. It's getting seen by somebody and clicked once. And then regardless of how it sells for 30 days, I'm charged a promoted listings fee. And what's frustrating is I don't really know where that sale came from. I don't know if it truly was from a promoted listing or if they found it organically. It would be great if eBay would tell us, like, we're charging you a promoted listings fee, but they found it through organic search or for social media, but they're not doing that. There's no transparency. I'm charged a promoted listings fee regardless of how the person found it. And I hear people, they're thinking of turning their ads on and off because it's a 30-day cookie. And this is the problem. I don't know if my item's been clicked through a promoted listing sponsor placement. I don't know. I mean, when I listed, it could get clicked within the first day from a promoted listing sponsored placement. It may not get clicked for 2 weeks. I don't know. And it can get clicked, let's say the next day, it can get clicked in a promoted listing sponsored placement. So it has a 30-day cookie. And then 4 or 5 days later, it's also clicked from a promoted listing sponsored placement. And there's another 30-day cookie. You don't know. And this is the problem, is we are flying blind. So the way it is now, if eBay doesn't change it and doesn't give us more transparency and doesn't communicate better, and so far they haven't indicated they are, is if you promote an item through a promoted listings general campaign, you have to assume you are going to get a sale through that campaign. You need to factor in your costs that you can afford that 2% fee, 3% fee, 4% fee on every single item that you have in a campaign. Okay. And just to give you a heads up, because we are going into the holidays and eBay has sort of buried this, if you scroll down to the FAQ, and of course they talk about the advanced thing first, and you got to keep scrolling down. You got to keep scrolling down because they keep talking about the advanced thing. You got to keep scrolling down. Hang on a second because I'm looking for it, because I had to look for it. Hang on. Higher margin items. Okay, eBay. Keep scrolling. Okay, I'm looking for the 30-day thing. Hang on. Keep scrolling. Keep scrolling. Reported fees are charged. Okay. Time of the click. Oh, yeah. So this is another thing. Sellers are charged the ad rate of the sold item at the time of the sale. So let's say you started it at 4% and then you lower it to 2%. If they buy it when it's at 2%, you will be charged 2%. And I hear people wanting to play around with the rates, like, okay, I'm going to start it at 4 and then I'm going to change it to 2. But again, you don't know how long that cookie's been on it. And you just don't know. You don't know if it's gotten any promoted listing clicks or no promoted listings clicks. But that is one thought, okay, is that you're charged the ad rate at the time of the sale with this new way they're doing it, okay? This is the thing you want to look at. And of course, they buried it like 3/4 of the way down here. If I'm promoting an item before the attribution update, which is January 13th, how will sales and ad fees be attributed after the update? Look at this. We will consider clicks from up to 30 days before the attribution update takes effect. And it takes effect January 13th. So that means they're going to attribute sales 30 days before. Okay? And this is what I'm talking about. So this is the way it stands now. Now, there's people that are saying, and definitely give eBay feedback. You know what I mean? Click through, let them know, reach them out on social media, on the corporate Facebook page, on Instagram, through community. I would totally give them feedback because they do take a look at all of that. Do it. and be clear what you want. Do I want greater transparency? Like, I want to know where the sale is really coming from. Let them know what's bothering you the most. People have brought up, and it's a really good point, we all do research on eBay, right? I mean, yes, we use product research, but I also search on eBay. I'm looking at my competitors. I'm looking for title ideas. I'm looking at how their pictures lay out. I mean, I'm researching on eBay. I personally, and I'm sure you're the same way, let me tell you, I'm going to be doing it a lot more. I try very hard not to click sponsored placement, okay? Especially if it's something that I might be buying, because, I know that that's an ad. And if I'm going to buy it, I'd like to buy it not from an ad placement and save the seller some money. But now I'm really going to try not to click it from a sponsored placement, because it means I'm triggering a 30-day cookie. So yes, those of us doing research, those of us looking, when you click a listing from a sponsored placement, even from 30 days before, from December 13th on, you just trigger the promoted listing cookie for that seller. And I think that would be incredibly difficult for eBay to figure out a filter. Like, would I log in saying I'm just doing research, and then it just sort of gets to be a mess. But yeah, from the way it stands now, you're triggering a 30-day cookie. Just for you to know, because this came up, I've done different conversations with promoted listings over the years. So when Promoted Listings Advanced first came out, and it's pay per click, if you don't know, okay, just as a sidebar, is it came up, and this is true, by the way, also on Amazon and Walmart, is because eBay is a very competitive place, just like Walmart's a very competitive place, and Amazon's a very competitive place. There's the potential of a competitor. Let's pick a category with like tons of similar, if not the same items, which would be like shipping supplies. A million people selling poly mailers, a million people selling tape. I would think same thing with electronics, right? I know this comes up with auto parts, is that you would have a competitor coming in and clicking all your items from sponsored placement, like making sure they saw the sponsored placement and clicking it to trigger the cookie on your item. How do you get protection from that? And this came up when the advanced pay-per-click thing came out, which is the same thing, that somebody's going to go and find your, let's say, I'm trying to think of something, your carburetor or your Louis Vuitton purse, and they sell Louis Vuitton purses too. And they're going to click it, and they're going to go back 5 minutes later, and they're going to click it again, and go back half an hour later and click it again. And they might even have a team of VAs doing the same thing to try to cost you money, right? Because all of a sudden you're going to get 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 clicks on your thing. And from what I understand from speaking with the promoted listings team, is they're very aware of this kind of thing. And I'm sure it's the same thing with Amazon and Walmart. So they have built-in things to detect abnormal activity on listings so that you're not charged. So that I thought was interesting. So I'm sure that will be in place too. Like if one person's going, like looking at all your listings and trying to find them all in sponsored placements and click on them to trigger cookies. So that I'm aware that there are safety safeguards built in. I'd like to hear that directly from eBay if they would come out and say that publicly, like, yes, we hear you. Yes, we're aware of it. And yes, we're going to have safeguards in place. That would be nice to hear. But this is the deal. If you listen to eBay's earnings calls, and I do, so this is Jamie Iannone and the Chief Financial Officer on earnings calls, and it's like with stockbrokers. It's about eBay as the corporation doing its earning call quarterly. And all publicly traded companies do this. So Google does it, Microsoft does it, Amazon does it, Walmart does it. They're very interesting to listen to, by the way. Etsy does it. Everybody does it. Consistently, and in the last earnings call, Promoted Listings General was called out as the most income-producing part of promoted listings. That means that all of us that use it, and I use it, and I would think the majority of sellers that use Promoted Listings General. I know sellers that use the pay-per-click. I've worked with sellers that use the pay-per-click. I've set up people's pay-per-click promotions. Also promoted stores and promoted offsite. In fact, I had a really good conversation recently with an eBay Motors seller that uses promoted offsite. They all make money for eBay. But the number one earner in promoted listings, and eBay has said this publicly, is Promoted Listings General. So that's their big revenue driver. And that's the one they're going after. And it's the one they have consistently gone after. Now, they've offered us more things like promoted listing store. They've given us the ability with promoted listing store that we can now promote a category, which wasn't true when it first rolled out. And I was one of the people that asked for it. I know others did too. I was like, it's great to have this, but we want to be able to target it more. Promoted offsite is very effective. Tends to be for bigger sellers, just to let you know. But the number one driver is promoted listings general. So they're offering these other things, promoted listing store, promoted offsite. You'll see offers come through in your seller hub for it. It's because they want you to use it and have a good experience with it, and then use it some more and spend some more money and tell your friends. That's part of marketing. I get it. But the number one driver is promoted listings general. It used to be click and buy within 30 days, and we got assessed a fee. Then they expanded it to Halo, which means click, 30-day cookie, and if they buy anything else in a promotion in your store, you're assessed a promoted listings fee. But at least they're discovering me from my promoted listing, and then they're buying another promoted item. This is click a promoted item. And then anybody, not that buyer, anybody buys the click sponsored item, and it's a promoted listing fee. It's just like, you've got to be kidding me. So what is a seller to do? So definitely speak out. People say, eBay might repeal it. They might. I don't think so. And I'll tell you why I don't think so. And it's because they haven't repealed it in Europe. And this has been going on since the summer in Europe and in Germany. And if you're unaware of it, Germany is a very big market for eBay. I cannot believe that the German sellers and the Western European sellers haven't been screaming since this started, and nothing's changed because eBay wants the fees, and this is how they've decided to go about it. Do I think there's other ways they could have gotten money from sellers? Yes. But for whatever reason, they have chosen this. Hi, Melissa. You're welcome. So what do I do? This is how it stands now. What can I do? And you're going to hear a lot of people saying a lot of different things. Listen to the people that you find the most useful to listen to. I mean, it's good to listen to the screamer yellers. You sort of like get to, vent feelings, which is a good thing. But what I'm about is, it's like when they added the Halo thing, and I was like, oh, eBay, please, is what can I do about it? How can I help sellers? Because what I'm after is, how can I sell on eBay and protect my margins? And I'm going to define that in a second if you're not familiar with that term, as much as I possibly can. Your margin is how much you make after everything. So it's your cost of goods. It's whether you're charging shipping or doing free shipping, whether you have a store or whether you don't have a store, and if you use any kind of other apps that are helping you with your selling. Okay. And then you know what your margin is. How much do you make on this item? How much are you promoting at right now? And you got to look it up. Are you promoting at 2%, 3%? And if you don't know, you need to go and look it up. I live in Manhattan. If you don't know, you see the yellow cabs behind me. What is your rent? Like, how much are you paying in rent? This is true where you guys are too, right? What are you paying for your housing? If you've got a mortgage, what is your mortgage? What is your insurance? If you've got a car, like, what is my car payment? What is my car insurance? What do I budget for yearly for maintenance? It's the same thing with selling. You got to budget, and you got to know how much you're spending. And then if it's okay or not. I've worked with a couple of sellers. The amount they sell through promoted listings is very, very low, and they're making good sales because they're in some very niche markets. They're okay because it's very low, and if it goes up a bit, they're fine about it. There are other people that it's much tighter. They're already at 30 and 40% of their sales are coming through promoted listings. And to those people, I am telling you, please, 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 so that you don't go into shell shock when you get your bills in January and February, go and look at your percentages and see if you want to adjust. Do you want to adjust? It's hard to gauge right now because there's people that are saying things they're doing right now because we're in fourth quarter. And for most people, this is a very lively time. So your numbers might be a little higher than normal, because we're selling more than normal, so that you might be getting more sales through promoted listings than you typically get. So that's why you got to go into your seller dashboard and you got to look at your numbers, and then you got to look at what is your percentage like in September, and what is your percentage like in June, and what was it last spring, and see if there's any change or if it stays pretty steady. And then you look at your percentage, and then you decide. And I'm going to tell you, this is me, is I budget for worst case scenario, because that way if you end up with more money, yay, right? I'm like, rather than the reverse, where all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, this is much worse than I thought. So if you're typically around 30, 40, I would double, and you might even go 100% just for the first month. So that in your mind, like if right now you're paying about $100 a month in promoted listing fees, I'll go, okay, it's going to go to $250. And then look at your overall net profit, how much you make after everything cleared. Can you absorb that? Do I want to? No. Right? No, I don't. Right? It's like the gas prices when they go up. No, I don't. But can I absorb it? And if not, then you adapt. Okay? It's going to be less trips. I'm only going to go shorter trips. For you, it might be lowering your rate. Okay? But you've got to look at how much you're spending and what percentage of your sales are from promoted listings. And then I really encourage you, especially the first couple of months as we're all getting used to this, is budget for worst case scenario and then look at your numbers. You know, it's great to talk to Kathy and it's great to talk to Melissa. Hello, Melissa, who's a wonderful artisan seller on eBay, and to talk to Bev and to talk to Jill. But we all sell different things. Even sellers that are fellow soup to nuts sellers, because I'll hear people like, oh, I'm soup to nuts. Oh, I'm soup. You know what? That's going to be a little different. Like, is it moderate price clothing? Is it more expensive clothing? Is it more plushies? Do I sell more ephemera? They're all very different categories. I mean, if you have a selling buddy that sells very much what you sell, then absolutely, you know, strategize together. But plush is, you guys know this, plush is different than men's sneakers, is different than trading cards, is different than home decor, is different than selling, I've sold some crazy stuff, than selling TV remotes. It's all very, I just sold some shoes. I was like, yeah, I'm not a big shoe seller, but I just sold some shoes. It's all different. So that's why you got to look at your numbers. And I really encourage you, so that you aren't in shell shock in January and February, is that plan for the worst case scenario. And I've come up with a freebie for you. I actually spent all weekend on this. And it's 5 tips for you for dealing with this change with promoted listings. Because again, what I'm really after is, and of course I don't have it pulled up, so hang on a second, because I've been working on a bunch of things today, is what I'm after to help you is that you make an educated decision for yourself and track your results. But the real clear strategies that you can do to minimize this pain, and that's what and keep your sales strong, because that's what's really important. Because some people are saying, oh, I'm just going to take promoted listings off everything. You can certainly do that. But if promoted listings has been driving, 38, 40, 45% of your sales, you might want to rethink that, right? Because I don't want my sales to drop into the abyss. That's certainly not something that we're after. Now, why is this doing this? It keeps pulling up the podcast. Hang on a second. And definitely I want you to listen to my podcast, but hang on a second. Okay, let's see what we got. Oh, I know why it's doing that. Okay, good. Hang on. It's been a lively week. My hubby's a little under the weather. I did all the schlepping today, schlepping my mail to the post office so that he could rest up. And you know how that is. It's like you got to take care of family. It's always family first. It's how I started selling on eBay. Was taking care of my mom. Taking care of my mom. Holidays bring up a lot of memories. I know you guys know this. When you have loved ones that aren't with you anymore, as you head into the holidays, you think about them. And I do. I miss my mom. So you're going to hop over to my website. And what's great too, it's like when you got people and then you love them and you miss them, is you can think about them and how much they meant to you, right? Isn't that funny? I wasn't planning on talking about Mom, but I do. I miss her. So hop over to my website, ilovetobeselling.com, and you're going to see this, the eBay Promoted Listings Fee Guide. 5 ways, and I'm giving you 5 tips to keep you in the game and to protect your wallet, because that's what I'm after to help you with, is what I really, really want to see for you is that you are able to sell successfully with this fee change, maybe bump up what you're paying eBay a bit, or even minimize. I got to tell you, I've been experimenting with some stuff and actually bringing some of my fees down, which is really interesting because I'm really looking at it and I'm really examining it and I'm really thinking about how I promote. And those of you that are in my membership group, Love to Be Selling Insider, and my group coaching Inner Circle, get ready because I'm going to do a deep dive with you all about what I'm doing. But grab this. It's free. It's my gift to you. eBay Promoted Listings Fee Guide. 5 tips that keep you in the game and protect your wallet, because what I'm about is I want your fees to stay strong or stronger. How about increasing sales? How about reducing eBay fees? Wouldn't that be fun? Thank you so much, Melissa. eBay's been incredibly slow for me in the past few weeks. I've sold more on Poshmark than eBay lately. Sales for today are 0. So, Sue, what you can do is, first of all, grab this guide and take a look at it because these fee changes are going into effect. And please, please, please hop over to my YouTube channel, Kathy Terrill. I Love to Be Selling. I've got tons of YouTubes in there to help you optimize. eBay search has changed a lot in the past 6 months and quite a bit in the past few months because of all the AI. So grab those tips and help you. I've got all kinds of stuff to help you on my YouTube channel. And do grab them, Sue, because I want to see your sales increase. Okay? So grab this for promoted listings, eBay Promoted Listings Fee Guide. 5 tips to keep you in the game and protect your wallet. And let me know which of the tips you decide to use to protect your sales, grow your sales, and minimize this hit that the promoted listings fee change is going to happen for us. Okay? It starts January 13th. And it goes back 30 days. So get going, sellers. I'm Kathy, and I love to be selling on eBay. Bye-bye.